What's up, Bills fans? Definitely wanted to come do a video. I should have done it yesterday, but things, holiday crap and all this weather, travel, all this stuff, just got a little hectic. And honestly, I just wanted to take time to breathe again, to be honest with you. And regardless of whether you wanted them to lose for certain reasons, whether it be Jaron being fired, like most of us are of the opinion of, and still are of the opinion of, I think. I don't think yesterday's game changes a thing. I mean, he wasn't forced to make any big decisions in the game, really, so can't really think his players made the plays and won the game. But just breathe, just they won a game, and it felt good. And regardless of what you think, I thought that game meant something. I really did. I thought it meant something for Edwards, the psyche of the team, the morale, and the just to go in and play a team on the road in a really cold environment, a hostile environment, and a team that had a lot to play for. I mean, if they just win that game, they're in the playoffs, and Buffalo went on their home field and won. And I thought it was huge. I thought it was a real big game for the Bills, and I think this week coming up against the Pats is another big game. I mean, here's a team that's beaten you like 10 times in a row. It's on your field, another cold weather environment, and I mean, I think you can make a statement with this game. You could really go into next season with a lot of, good feelings, as opposed to what you could have went in if you just would have said, well, you know, we had it but we blew it. Why bother? And that's my feeling on it. As far as the game goes, I mean, to go down 13-0 again, it was just like, you're just looking up at the ceiling, just like your head in your hand, like, oh my god, here we go. I mean, it's going to be ugly. Edwards looks off. But they hung in there. You got to give the defense a lot of credit. I mean, as bad as they looked getting picked apart, they did not give up the game-winning touchdown. Reggie Corner had the game of his life. It was, as far as it goes in a Bills uniform, he really, almost came up with an interception, had a fumble recovery, pass breakups, huge pass breakup at the end of the game. I mean, McKelvin got robbed of an interception. They're really getting those, DBs prepped, I believe, to eventually let Jabari Greer go via free agency, because he's probably going to want a huge contract, and you don't draft a guy like McKelvin in the first round to nickel corner him again. You're just not going to do that. So, and they do have Bodie coming back next season, provided he can stay healthy. Also, I just think they made the necessary plays and they had to make them. And Trent, what can you say? I thought he looked great. Once he got his feet back under him, started making the throws. The one throw that he made to Fred Jackson was the best throw I've seen made all year by a Buffalo Bill. Jackson wasn't open when he let the ball go. He anticipated the route. He saw the mismatch. Josh Reed, mention him. He made a ton of good plays yesterday too. Can't not mention Josh. He made some wonderful plays. But when Fred, went into his route, he wasn't initially open, but Trent was able to identify the mismatch and just get rid of that ball, and he wasn't even open. He led him perfectly. Huge play in the game, and you can't say enough about Trent. He made another big run there on a boot. It was, he as he goes, so do the Bills, and that's just painfully obvious. It doesn't matter if Jason Peters doesn't play. You got a guy back there with pocket awareness that knows what's going on around him and gets rid of the ball in a timely manner. That's the most important thing. And they weren't they were playing without Lynch. Hope he'll be able to give it a good go against the Pats. Fred, you got to give him huge props for the way he played and the way the team played as a whole collectively. I know I kick them a lot while they're down, but when they play and they show the kind of fight and effort that they did this past game, it's really, like I said, you can breathe again. It's like, wow, this is the reason why I like this team. This is why I root for them, because they're capable of things like this. And Trent not playing like he did, and that was a real good feeling too. The way he played, he was able to show, wow, there's some glimpses of what we know that he's capable of. And we can sit here and dwell and say they should have won last week, which they should have, and They could have tried to ride a 3-game winning streak and a winning record into the off season, but you still can go 8-8. You still can go with a lot of positive feelings. I mean, the permutations for the Patriots games are huge. I mean, you could knock out a team that's been beating you profusely for the last several seasons, and you could dash their playoff hopes. You can shake up a lot of things in the AFC East, and avoid going 0-6 in the division. It's a huge game, and I think if they can come out and win that game, it'll be interesting. Now, on to more interesting issue. Everybody's wondering, well, what does this do about Jake Duran? His status. Well, I heard some interesting information, interesting news just a few minutes ago. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to play a radio clip from WGR 550, and it's Mike Shope in the Bulldog Show. And a lot of us fans, especially just yesterday, if they win this game, does that help Duran? If they lose, it kind of almost damns them, and that kind of makes Bills fans who don't want him back leery. And I'll be honest, I don't want him back. I mean, I destroy the guy on a regular basis on here, but nice guy, just can't make the decisions on game day. I mean, when faced with the situation, he freezes, he chokes up. He just doesn't have that quick thinking, on his feet ability that you see the other good coaches, not even above average or great coaches, just level coaches do. He's just bottom tier with that, and that's what being a coach is. So for those of you who are wondering, how it affected or unaffected his situation, I'm going to play this clip for you so you can hear it.
From the Bills, what do we have here, Greg? Is this from the AP? I'll just put on my screen here. From the AP, Bills owner Ralph Wilson says Dick Duran's future as head coach will be determined within the next 2 weeks during end-of-season meetings with Wilson and his top executives. Speaking by phone Monday from his home in suburban Detroit, Wilson tells the Associated Press he hasn't decided whether to retain Duran and won't say which way he's leaning. Providing a timetable for the first time, he says, Wilson, the decision will be made shortly. Well, hey, after that game yesterday...
So there you go, Bills fans. Ralph finally coming out and saying, well, we're going to make a decision on this guy. 3-year contract extension, we don't know. Was there stipulations in the contract that he had to have a winning season, had to go to the playoffs? Possibly. We're not going to know. Like I said, in a couple of weeks we will. And I think that, ultimately his fate will be decided by how he's received in Buffalo by the fans. Ultimately, the fan base will decide, I think. Russ Brandon you can't sell this guy. You can't sell him as the coach. You got season ticket holders wanting to pull out because he could be coaching a team. The decisions he's made on game day have damned him. His record speaks for itself. His record against winning teams, 2-20. You can say what you want about yesterday, but Denver could finish the season 8-8. They're a 500 team. His past in Chicago, you have to take everything into account. And going forward, I don't think this guy is going to be able to get this team over the hump it needs to, especially in the East. Especially, with everybody in the division getting better, you don't want to level off and become the doormat. So there you go, Bills fans. We'll find out soon, and it doesn't contract extension or not. If he had one, that's obvious. Ralph would have said, well, he has one, so decided or not. But looks like he's either in or he's definitely out. And if he goes and gets stomped against New England at home, the Bills, I'm sorry, he's just a coach, but he goes and makes questionable decisions and gets out coached, and the team doesn't show up like they really haven't against New England, it's a good indicator that he'll be gone, and thankfully we'll know short time thereafter whether he's in or out. Ralph's probably already made his decision in his mind. It's just reserving the right to wait till the end of the season and then announce it. Until then, Bills fans, you have a good one. Hope to talk to you all again soon. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and have a good Christmas.